Okay, good evening and welcome everyone. My name is Ravin Babram and Mr. Goma has just introduced herself. We are both the academics at Regent Business School. And yes, our webinar tonight is on the future works. So myself and Ms. Goma will present to you for a little while and then we'll open up to a Q&A session thereafter. So we'd like to ask you if you could please hold your questions where possible. And Ms. Sayuri will monitor the chat for us and assist us if there are any concerns or any queries that do pop up in the meantime. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So welcome everyone at Regent Business School. We've been around now for more than 26 years. Regent is a leading provider of entrepreneurial business and management education. And we actually pride ourselves in the research, innovation, and the teaching and learning standards that we hold. Our mission is to be accessible, affordable, and quality oriented, and a leading provider of not just in South Africa, but on the African continent of tertiary education. Okay, so I myself, I'm from the School of Management and Commerce, and Ms. Goma is from the School of Supply Chain. So we will obviously talk a little bit about those things, but just a little bit about Regent Business School. Firstly, we're a proud member of Honoris United Universities. We've been around for more than 26 years. We're fully accredited with the CHE, the DHET, Department of Higher Education and Training, as well as um, the so look here, uh, so and the Department of Education. Okay. Just a few other things about us. We do also focus on tech-rich education. We have a learning management system called LMS, Region Online, and we provide webinars. We have the Ed Universal Two Palms of Excellence Award, which we've received recently. And there's many other advantages to studying at Regent Business School. Okay. So that's just a little bit about us. And I just want to talk a little bit about education that transforms ambition into action. So obviously we all know that education itself is not the end goal, but obviously it leads to further outcomes. So education is about sharpening the axe. It's about getting, the right skill set so that we can perform in certain industries. Perhaps we might want to be entrepreneurs and open up our own businesses, or perhaps we want to become employees and then work our way up the ladders, corporate ladders and other ladders to become managers, directors, and possibly even CEOs and so on. Okay. But before that, before we get to that step, it's not just about gaining knowledge, it's also about enabling and empowering people, right? It's about enlightening people. It's about taking concrete steps. So education is not just about your book knowledge, but also about practical application. It's also about the right skill set. It's also about, remember, there's an old saying that your degree gets you to the door, and then what you can do after that, your skill set, your communication skills, the way you present yourself, then get you the job, right? And the other thing that's very important is that education equips people with the right tools, skill set, and mindset, and that helps them to turn their aspirations into tangible outcomes and drive real world impact. Okay. Some of the popular sayings and quotations we have about education, I think everyone would know the one from our former President Nelson Mandela: education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. It's become an international standard now throughout the world. Education is the one thing no one can take away from you. This sounds like a cliche. I'm sure a lot of parents will tell their children that, but it is a reality because the stronger your skill set is in this economy, especially with things like AI and machine learning, the better your chances of not just survival, but of flourishing in this economy. And then Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds of our time, he said that education is not just learning of facts, but training of the mind to think. Now, this is important because at Regent Business School, we're not just there about only teaching you facts and giving you certain book knowledge, but also practical application, which leads to things like critical thinking and also creativity and problem solving, which is very important. We also link this to industry relevant skills and something else very important, personal mastery and self-discipline. This is where, for example, students learn that simple things like deadlines should not be taken as guidelines, but they should be taken really as, you know what, very seriously. And not just about self-discipline, but personal mastery goes beyond that because it's about managing yourself before you can learn to manage a team of people. Also, networking opportunities is very important and looking for specialized careers. Okay, so that was just a brief intro for myself. I'm going to hand over to Ms. Goma Chula there.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Raveen. So I can see here that there are quite a few attendees, and while we have a manageable amount, with the permission, of course, of my fellow panelists here, the Regent team, as well as Raveen, can I ask our participants, our attendees, just in the chat, without infringing on your personal information, Poppy Act and things like that, if you can, introduce yourself, let us know where you are joining us from. Perhaps that would be really interesting for us also to get to know who you are. We've introduced ourselves and we will keep talking about Regent Business School as well as the academics. But we'd also like to just have a view of who you are. Maybe, you have certain expectations. You can keep those perhaps for the end, and we can interact in that manner. But before I begin with the Regent end, again, I want to thank Mr. Raveen Baburam for that exciting introduction. I'm very happy and excited to be here because, it's a great opportunity to engage with people that have not yet been exposed to Regent Business School and to tell you about all the exciting ways in which we deliver education. So, as Raveen has said, I want to just reiterate that we believe in learning that works, and our approach is designed to equip students not only with academic knowledge, but the practical skills. And you'll see that as a theme throughout this webinar, that practical skills and usable knowledge is quite important to us because this is what you need to thrive in today's dynamic professional landscape. Many of our students are school leavers, and just as many are working professionals that want to enrich themselves and further their careers. So it's quite important to incorporate practical skills and usable knowledge in our learning and not just, present something that you can, as far as I'm concerned, nowadays find online. So that is one of our three major pillars at Regent Business School. I'm going to briefly talk about these three pillars for the purpose of this webinar, and the first being our key differentiators in comparison to other institutions. So one of the key differentiators of our programs is our focus on experiential learning. Our students don't just learn from textbooks, they learn through real world applications. Our academics are trained, our support teams are trained, everyone at all of the immersive classrooms know that this is a philosophy that we carry throughout our delivery of education. So we've integrated immersive centers or classrooms where students have a chance to simulate actual business environments. And this makes it easier for them to apply theoretical knowledge to practical settings. What we mean by these immersive classrooms or centers is that you take from what's in a textbook or what's in an article or what you learn in class, and you go and do it basically, where you can see the outcomes, where you can see theories that work and that don't work, and that you can highlight key concepts from that. So, in addition to our iLead lab, which you may be familiar with, if you're not, please explore that on our website. We also offer unique hands-on learning experiences in many other spaces. And the iLead Lab in particular which is a center that exists in each of our regions, our physical campuses. It's a space that's dedicated to fostering leadership, creativity, as well as innovation. So here, students are encouraged to take lead in projects, to solve complex problems, and to develop new strategies that can be implemented in their careers. So you see that you're not sitting in a webinar or a classroom where you're just listening to one person say one thing over and over, but you are immersing yourself in the experience of educating yourself. So these resources are tailored to develop a mindset of continuous learning and innovation. And this ensures that our graduates are not just job-ready people, but they are career-ready, especially if you want to advance your career. I want to go on to the second pillar. Thank you, Mr. Baburam, which is our edge, right? The relevance of employability in our programs. So we have undergraduate programs. These are your higher certificates, your bachelor's degrees, and then we have your postgraduate programs, which are qualifications that are NQF level 8 and above. And these are designed to add relevance and employability to your qualification. So we don't just focus on academic excellence, we also committed to creating programs or qualifications that directly align with the needs of the market. Mr. Raveen Babra mentioned that I'm from the School of Supply Chain Management, and it's so important that we keep our finger on the pulse, so to speak, to ensure that we are producing people that are equipped for the world that they will, I almost said a Zulu word, the world that they will meet outside of Regent Business School. So it's not just about getting your qualification and walking out, which is great, but it's about being able to learn. Learning how to learn is what I usually say in the webinars during my classes. Are you someone that can add credibility to your career? So our curriculum is regularly updated in consultation with industry leaders. We've got internal and external subject matter experts. This is all done so that we can ensure that we remain relevant. Remember, I said keeping our finger on the pulse. So current affairs is very important in our teaching. It's important in our assessments. I'm not going to ask or teach and ask about something that happened, 20 years ago. What about something that's happening now, especially in the world that we live in that involves AI and virtual realities, etc. So, whether you're pursuing an undergraduate or a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma, any of our programs, in fact, all of them, are crafted to bridge the gap between education and employment. So, we emphasize critical thinking, like I mentioned before, being able to solve problems. So, that's a very important skill, which is problem solving, as well as strategic decision making. And these are all valuable attributes for employers across sectors. So it's important to come out, of your academic career at Regent with these skills. So through things like live case studies, collaborative projects, students have a chance to build strong networks and gain first-hand industry experience because of the people that we have on board, that directly will boost your employability upon graduation. So that's a very, exciting part of our curriculum that makes us different and more relevant in the industry. Then lastly, I just want to quickly go through our flexible learning options, which is something that you might be very interested to learn about. Mr. Babaram, if we can go through to the next slide, please. Thank you very much. So, of course, I mentioned earlier that we have our school leavers, which are people that were in matric the previous year. We also, accommodate people that are working, so professionals as well. So we understand that there are many students that are juggling work and studying and other personal commitments. And that's why we offer flexible learning options for all of our students. Our blended learning model at Regent Business School combines online learning as well as face-to-face interactions. So this offers the convenience and flexibility that you need as students to be able to balance your careers and your academic goals. So we're not, excluding anyone that wants to further their studies. If you have a specific need, we are more than able to accommodate your needs in terms of timing and balancing all of, the many aspects of life that people may have. For example, we have weekend classes, we have evening lectures around this time during the week. We have webinars that we host on online platforms, and students can sort of design their own learning schedule that best fits their personal and professional commitments. This flexibility will definitely ensure that learning continues without compromising your work responsibilities, as well as the academic integrity of what we are trying to do here. So please speak to any one of the members of our team. You can liaise with um, the team at enrollments and student support. Share your ideas, share your thoughts and what your needs are so that we can tailor, our delivery to your needs. So just to wrap up all of those 3 points that I was emphasizing, we don't just teach at Regent Business School. Again, we like to empower students. So our experiential learning opportunities and industry relevant programs, as well as lastly, the flexible learning options, create a unique educational experience that positions our students to thrive in their careers and make an impact in the business world. So, without any further waste of time, I'm just having a browse here in the chat. I see some responses. Thank you very much. I'd like to then hand over to Mr. Baburam
Yeah,
to
thank
continue.
you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Just continuing from where we left off, I just want to add a few things. I think at Regent Business School, our undergrad and postgrad programs are designed to empower students, not just to shape the industries out there, but also to lead in innovation, create some real world impact out there. And we do our best to provide an environment, where students can turn their ideas into reality and make a real difference in the business world.
That's correct. I mean, definitely, our qualifications offer students with practical skills that we emphasize a lot, and they need to thrive in fast-changing business world. Like I mentioned earlier, to our participants, it's important to be able to walk out with a qualification that matters, have a skill that, is usable in the real world. So it's not just about academic excellence, like I said, of course, that's important, but all these experiential learning opportunities, these experiences that we offer, they help the qualification become industry focused. So our students learn to apply their theory into practice, which is what really is needed to have the student ready to have a good impact in the workplace.
Yeah, that's actually 100% right, Chula. It just reminds me of some of the alumni stories we have. You mentioned the Poppy Act earlier, so I won't, divulge too much information about the identities of the people, but I'll talk quickly about one of our graduates who was recently moved into, a huge leadership role at a global tech firm. It was just inspiring to watch their journey from the classroom to the boardroom, and it's a testament to the transformative power of the education that they have received here at Regent. And there's so many success stories of students, of graduates who have gone on to become managers, to become directors, to take leadership roles out there. A lot of our graduates have even eventually opened up their own businesses, which are flourishing, and some of them are actually now even board members. So it's actually quite heartwarming to know these success stories out there.
It is indeed. It's quite inspiring also. We are involved with students for at least a year of their lives, trying to deliver, knowledge to them and working together to try and, get them ahead in life. And once that happens, it's really, quite a huge milestone. And what sets Regents apart is our faculty, our academics. Our academics bring a wealth of industry experience to the classroom. These are people that have experience in industry, that have experience in academia. They have studied, they have done research, and sharing valuable insights with these kinds of people helps to connect students to real world challenges. So, again, I will say we don't just teach, myself included, Ravina, no, I'm sure. We also mentor and guide the students
Uh,
and help them to grow as leaders and problem solvers in this world.
That's an excellent point, too. I think it's very important to have that holistic, all-rounded view because it's not just about academics, but yes, it's about coaching and it's about empowering people, and it's also about getting that practical experience. You mentioned earlier on the immersive learning centers and the, some of the new innovations, the AI lab and things like that, the iLead lab. So those are very exciting ventures that we've got on the go as well. And it just assists our students not just to be job ready, but also to be very career ready. And I think that's a big difference because it leaves our students eventually equipped to drive
Mm,
innovation and to actually lead
mm.
their teams out there and to make a lasting impact in the business world.
Absolutely, you're correct. And specifically at Regent, we believe that true success comes from academic knowledge and practical experience working together, not just, having academic excellence. I'm sure if any of you are, older than 20 and you've had a job, you've come across someone, in the workplace that is excellent on paper, but practically they might not live up to, their reputation of being excellent. So it's important for us to at least try and produce a well-rounded person. So it's important that we are able to help our students to strive and empower them to not only shape their careers, but to also shape the industries. Like you mentioned, Raveen, some of our graduates are in boardrooms, and imagine the decisions that are being made there. And, like I emphasized earlier, problem solving, decision making, all of these critical skills and characteristics of a good leader that are needed in the workplace and in the real world will really shape, the future of these industries and all of the workplaces that our graduates are part of.
Yeah, 100%, Tula, 100%, because it's not just about graduating students at Regional Business School. I think it's more about transforming people into leaders, people who can lead themselves and lead teams as well. But thank you so much for that, those important points that you've made, Chula. I appreciate that. I'm just going to continue with some of the quick statistics. I hope we're not boring people too much with these graphs and numbers, but just quickly, firstly, on the left-hand side here, you will see that the number of months that it takes to get a job. You can see that overall, the region students within 2 to 3 months, right, and sometimes even in less than 2 months, you can see that our graduates are actually getting employment. So please note this is not a 100% offer that's being made by Region Business School. It's just an indication of what happens with the majority of our graduates and the people that have responded in our survey. So within 2 to 3 months, they're getting themselves into positions, and usually it's in better positions from what they were when they started their qualification. On the right-hand side, you'll see some key job titles. A lot of our graduates have gone on to become managers. Say accountant is up there as well, directors, right, administrators, and there's a whole bunch of different titles. But a lot of people have moved on once they've graduated into management roles, into directorship, into leadership roles. And as Tulas mentioned earlier, they've actually, well-rounded people who actually can lead themselves and can lead industries and companies. And then a very important statistic here on this table at the bottom, the employability rate, you will see that over the last few years from 2019 to 2024, we've had around at Region Business School a roughly 90% employability rate, which is excellent. And basically what that means is within, I'm not sure the amount of time, I think it's within a certain amount of time here, but basically most of our 90% or so of our graduates have received employment offers after graduating. The other 10% or so, it takes a little bit longer, but they do also eventually get the employment as well. So you'll see that on the whole, as I said, we're not making grand promises, but we are showing that the majority of our students are getting jobs within 3 months. It's usually in better positions, and you can see that the results are speaking for themselves. And then just a little bit about how Region Business School now is ensuring that our curriculum links to in-demand skills. We do a lot of industry collaboration. We work with industry leaders, with advisory boards. We make sure that what we're teaching our curricula are completely aligned to what the job market needs. We're taking into account those needs, the AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, the work from home opportunities and how that has revolutionized the world of work, the all the new trends in the business space as well. We're also looking at regular curriculum reviews. We also do a lot of practical learning integration. Tula spoke about a few things already, and we also have internships and work placements. Right? We also have alumni inputs. Alumni are people who've graduated and they keep in touch with us, and that's where we get some of our survey details from in terms of how long it takes to find further employment or new employment, and which field and which sectors and titles they're in, and so on. And then beyond that, also the other thing is we also look at, as I said, emerging technologies. We've got some really, really awesome, really cool labs where we, for example, are doing virtual reality testing, and we're doing things like artificial intelligence. There's a whole bunch of immersive learning at the moment. Schools. Some of them are still in pilot phase. Some of them are already being rolled out, and our students, have an opportunity to immerse themselves in these things. We also have a qualification called a postgraduate diploma in business intelligence, which is quite recent. Sorry, it seems like my internet connection just dropped for a second there. Postgraduate diploma in business intelligence, and that's quite fairly new. It's quite exciting. It's in the area of business intelligence as well. We've also got strong soft skills development to ensure that our graduates come out with communication and leadership skills, problem solving, creativity skills. We also look at the labor market and what actually is being demanded out there by the employers of choice. And we're also looking at regional African content, what's out there, what's shaping the world. And finally, we also national bodies also in different departments, in different programs, and we also consult with them in terms of curriculum requirements and how we can boost and further our curriculum. Okay, right. Ms. Tula, you
Thank
can.
you. Thank you for that, Raveen. If you guys can indulge me for a bit, we are almost done, I promise, and we have a little bit of time left. I just want to have a quick read here at our participants' feedback. It's very exciting. I see there are some people joining us from Northern Cape, which is, I don't know how we got to the Northern Cape. Well done to the marketing team. I see we have someone from Kruger. That's very, very exciting. First year student doing advanced diploma in business management. You'll definitely be seeing and hearing a lot more of Raveen. Thank you so much for that and good luck. We have Eswatini as well joining us. Bachelor of Business Administration, very good choice. We have an MBA candidate. Good luck with that. Very, very exciting stuff. Um, we also have Annette, thank you, from Johannesburg. BCom Honors, that is Grace in Witbank Public Management. That's awesome. Saudi Arabia as well. Sure,
Wow.
Raveen, we've got
Oh, wow.
a lot to live up to here. No pressure. So thanks a lot for that, guys. It's really exciting. To see that there's so much interest. And, we are here. We will answer your questions, we'll provide information, talk to us, talk to anyone you're comfortable with, give us a call on any of the campuses. We are here for that. Now, I'm going to talk about articulation. And without, making it sound like a webinar or anything, this word articulation just means the progress of what you can build up on your qualifications. There's one more from Durban. Yes, Ravin and I are in Durban. BCom Supply Chain, that's with me. I'll definitely remember that name. So thank you. I'll look forward to interacting with you. So just talking about articulation and the options that you have as a student, at Regent Business School or in higher education in general, there are different NQF levels that exist, and we offer programs or qualifications in each of these NQF levels. So there is a wide scope, basically, of what you can do at Regent Business School. I see some of the interactions are actually saying, I hold a degree in IT, for example. There's definitely still a pathway for you to further those studies. So if you can have a look on the slide here, that's basically the general pathway you can take as far as the NQF levels are concerned. So starting from the top, higher certificates, which is an NQF level 5, which is equivalent to a matric if you are in Southern Africa. You understand what a matric or grade 12 is. And then you can go into your diplomas or degrees, which are NQF level 6s, 7, and 8 with first year, second year, third year, respectively. You have then your honors degrees, your postgraduate diploma degrees that are offered at Regent Business School. So there's quite a number of options on, your next step towards basically NQF level 10, right? So your master's degrees, there are some candidates here for MBA, which is a NQF level 9. And then lastly, there's nothing more than your NQF level 10, which is a PhD or a doctoral degree. So there's a lot that we offer. Raveen mentioned some of our newer programs that you can explore that will prepare you or have our graduates in readiness for what is happening. 5 years ago, Internet of Things existed, but in a very, small and focused area. Now it's a subject matter that's available to anyone, and it's advisable actually that in whatever industry that you are in or career that you're pursuing, you are familiar with things like AI and blockchain and virtual reality, etc. So we are definitely, accommodating for those changes in digitization and technology. So we offer a lot of clear articulation pathways, and our team members can talk to you about that. But basically, this is what helps students to build your careers step by step, like I mentioned. So you can start off, like I said, with the higher certificates, even if you've been working for 15 years. It's a great place to start off. If you don't have the theoretical knowledge and you have the experience, this is a great place to start just to give yourself a high level overview, of that specific subject matter. And this provides foundational business skills and a strong entry point into the workforce, or even further education. So it's great for school leavers because they can start at that level of higher certificate if perhaps they have not settled on anything in the higher NQF levels. This is a great place to start and sort of, test the waters and see, what career opportunities can present themselves with a higher certificate. And from there, of course, you can progress to a degree where you'll dive deeper into business concepts and develop a broader skill set to prepare for specialized roles. After that, you can, of course, go into your honors, your postgraduate diplomas, like I said, which is a great option actually for those wanting to enhance their expertise and leadership potential without maybe committing to the full MBA. I'm not discouraging you from doing an MBA. Please do your MBAs, guys. Now or in the future, it is quite an interesting journey. And I think, a lot of people think, the MBAs, the PhDs are for academic, careers. But I think it adds credibility even in other sectors that are not in academia. To walk into an office as a manager, as a head of department with an MBA, with that knowledge, really adds, to your skill set. And then finally, you can definitely, take on MBA programs and doctoral programs, which refine your strategic thinking, refines your leadership skills. You know, we do a lot of research in those two particular NQF levels, and research isn't only about getting the qualification and passing. You are diving deep into a specific focus area. You are finding out why. Remember earlier I said, usually I say in classes or in webinars, you're learning how to learn. It's not about, whether you've got 25 years experience and you can do this with your eyes closed, but how well do you learn is what's important in these different pathways. So to ensure that no matter where you start, there's a clear and flexible route to career advancement. We provide that at Regent Business School. And for your own personal transformation as well, we're here to support your every step. So there are lots of dedicated departments, team members that will, basically, um, I don't want to say hold your hand, but let's just say that for now, that can hold your hand throughout the journey. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be frustrating. It's made out so that you get the most out of these qualifications and this experience that you can gain. Over to you, Mr. Baburam.
Thank you so much for that, Chula. That's excellent explanation on the articulation pathways. And what Chula said is very important, guys. Wherever you start in the journey, it's not important where you start. What's most important is where you finish. So even if you're just starting off at higher certificate level, the important thing is to make a start, get started with your toes a bit, and then obviously with experience and with further studies, you can make your way up the ladder all the way to master's and doctoral level. Okay, thank you so much, Tula, for that insightful explanation. I think what we can do now is we can hand over to now we can open the floor for a Q&A discussion. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask, and Ms. Tula and myself will do our best to answer. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe while you're still thinking about some questions, I will leave my email address in the chat. In case you have anything that pops up later on, you're free to talk to any of our other team members or myself if you have any specific questions about Regent, about academia, about anything related to this discussion. I am happy to engage with you on that.
Thanks for that, Tula. Okay, so do we have any questions, any concerns? If you don't have questions, you can make comments. If you enjoyed the presentation tonight, if you learned something, if it's been,
There
insightful
is a
insight.
question, Mr. Raveen, from an anonymous attendee. Do you
Yeah,
graduate
sure.
for a higher certificate as well? Of course you do. You've worked hard. It is 1 year, but it's a very long year doing a excellent qualification. Yes, you do graduate indeed.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
I'm not sure. Maybe our marketing colleagues can assist me
uh,
here. Are there any, our Instagram, yes, our social media pages. You are free to join us and follow us there. There are plenty of beautiful pictures, videos of celebrations that we've had through the year, at our graduation in May, as well as our spring graduation. Very, very exciting, very inspiring stories as well. So please, if you have time, um, just after this or on your cell phones, quickly search for Regent Business School on Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is very serious, Raveen. So I'm
uh,
not sure if all our dancing graduates are on there, but
uh,
definitely our Instagram page will give you a glimpse of, the end of that journey, which is very, very, very inspiring to
Definitely.
watch.
Thank you, Nico. That was an excellent comment. Nico says the presentation was clear and straightforward. And Joash says, let's just have a look. Just want to confirm at Regent Business School, everything is done online from classes to exams. So we do offer online education via distance learning, and we do have rich distance classes where some students attend physically face to face.
That's correct, Joash. Our flexible learning delivery, really accommodates for students that can't physically attend classes, during the day, Monday to Friday. Also, our assessments are done online. So you do write your assignments and upload them onto your portal under your student number, and they are marked online. You receive your feedback exams as well. So everything, that has to do with even our library is online. We have an online library and databases of textbooks, articles, journals, things like that that are available. So you do have a complete, higher education experience, from the comfort of wherever you are, online. So yeah, it's very accommodating in that way. I'm not sure. There are two questions. Okay, Nogzola, how intense is the course material for SCM? Email me, Nogzola. I'll tell you how intense it is. Why is supply chain management intense? Why do you think it's intense? It's not intense at all. It's a breeze. But please email me. We can engage on that. I can even give you a call. Not tomorrow though. Mm, maybe on Friday. Um, I did leave my email address in the chat box. Um, I don't think our exams also written online. Correct. If you are a distance student, you can write your exams online, so meaning on a digital platform. The digital platform, though, you can come onto campus and connect to the Wi-Fi and sit in the library and write your exam on the laptop, or you can do it at home or at work. I mean, I wouldn't encourage that, but it is done digitally if that's what you mean by online. Yes. Um, even the students that we see face to face, they go home and write their exams. If you have done a PG dip in project management, can you do HR with that? Or do you have to do another course? So, yes, there are pathways that take you from sort of one discipline to another. The specifics of that, I'm not sure. Like you've said, you have a PG dip. As long as the NQF level allows you to move on to the next, what I mean by that is that you can't jump from a higher certificate in anything to a master's, right, in anything. So you're definitely able to switch disciplines. So go from, for example, accounting degree if that's what you have currently, and start first year in another degree like a School of Supply Chain Management or anything like that. Are we able to access our portal at the moment? First year for next year. I don't think so, no.
It's a bit
Not
early.
yet. Not yet. I think from January, even though you might start your academic year later on, but from January, I'm sure. But not right now, no. I'm unable to see the email that you shared. I'll share it again, my email address. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up here.
No problem. While you enter that email address, Tula, I'll just tackle
Yes.
one or two of these questions. There is a supply chain question. We'll come back to that one. Do you have affiliations with professional bodies such as SICA? We are, help me here, Mr. Goma. We are SICA
Yes.
endorsed.
SAICA,
SICA,
yes, we are endorsed by SAICA. All of our accounting, School of Finance and Accounting is endorsed by SAICA. So we do have a School of Supply Chain Management as well. We are
mm,
endorsed by professional bodies. So we're definitely, in touch with industry in that regard.
perfect. Thanks.
I
Uh,
see a supply
yes,
chain. When do the
yes.
courses start next year? So the timetable will be communicated if you're now a registered student. I can't give you specific dates, but of course, there will be orientations, there will be PC program coordinator
Mm.
meetups and catch-ups that will happen, boot camps, then your actual academic curriculum work, like your webinars and all that boring stuff, will be communicated to you during that time of orientation, so in the beginning of the year. So typically our classes start. You should be on board with us from February onwards. So you'll have a nice break in
That's,
January at least. How
I
strict are
think
the rules for
yeah,
writing on?
I'll just take
Similar.
that one, to
Sure.
last with you. Yeah, so thank you, Nakwanda, for the question. That's a good question. So we do have proctoring software, which is basically like an online invigilation. So there's two parts to it. There's an AI part to it, where the AI tool monitors your camera and your microphone to ensure that it's you that's writing the exam. We ask for your identification document before that, so we can use facial recognition, and then we make sure that it's the AI real time, sure that you're not getting assisted by anyone else. And also, if there's a red flag that comes up, we have a team of people that's also the LMS team, and then they will immediately, as soon as a red flag is raised, they will look into this and they will see what's going on. So yes, we're 100% very strict about ensuring that academic integrity and academic honesty is preserved during the course of the examinations and assessments, and that is very serious to us at Regent Business School.
Yeah, and that's a very good question because it should be, a serious matter to you guys as well as the students. How do we protect the academic integrity of what you submit?
Mm.
In this digital age, there are a lot of ways to intercept. So it's not only about, protecting us from you guys basically cheating on exams, but it's also protecting, what you submit. We don't want to lose any of your submissions and lose any of the students, get lost in this online world. So it's important, to have these kinds of software and technologies that we use to ensure that you are protected as well as the institution
Mm,
from any disruptions from what we are trying to achieve.
definitely. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, any further questions before we adjourn for the evening? Other comments on the meeting this evening?
I think everyone is sorted, Rafin.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Joesh says very informative. We appreciate that. Thank you, Tula, as well for joining in and making it so conversational and interesting. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks, everyone that attended. Thank you to our colleagues at Regent for putting this together. This is a great opportunity for us to put ourselves out there, which is,
Mm,
outside really of the our day-to-day work as academics, but it's
yeah,
really insightful. And please, again, keep in touch with someone at Regent Business School. We are here to support your journey and good luck with your academic career.
thank you everyone. Have a good evening.